The short form is I'm a UEFA A-level coach from Germany. I coach our under-16 team, and I'm happy to be here.
You have to underline that word, UEFA
A-level.
A-level. That is very important. How long does it take for one to have a UEFA A-level? Welcome back to part 2, a sit down with Coach Hans. How would you like to introduce yourself?
The short form is I'm a UEFA A-level coach from Germany. I coach our under-16 team, and I'm happy to be here.
Wow, that is interesting. You have to underline that word, UEFA
A-level.
A-level. That is very important. How long does it take for one to have a UEFA A-level?
So in Germany, you started first with the C level, then you go to the B level, then you can go to the A level. So it's a process that takes some years.
Okay. So if I want to coach the first team of an adult team, what does it take for a coach to reach that level?
So in Europe, is it like you have to have... I can coach an adult team, but not the highest 3 leagues. So if I wanted to coach the highest 3 leagues, I needed to have the UEFA Pro level. So that's my next step, what I am trying to get.
Okay, interesting. So welcome to Kenya. We met at the Dream Awards. How was the event? If you could rate it, if you would like rate it for us, how was the event? Was it even your first time?
Some of you were there.
For
It's the
Women's
first
Football Awards?
female club.
Yeah, it was my first time about women football.
Within the
I
club to
got
award
there
player.
because I know the host, so I was invited. So I just come there, and it was interesting to meet new people.
Yeah, it's interesting. And now we are here. Hola. Okay, so what has been your impression of Kenyan football? You've told me you've attended several Gor Mahia matches. Like, what is your impression with Kenyan football?
Yeah, I watched a lot of Kenyan Premier League football because I'm interested maybe to work for Kenyan Premier League in the future.
Okay.
So I wanted to get the feeling how good is the level. And yeah, to be honest, it's still a big step away from European football. But I believe there is potential to improve. And it's interesting to see because I always like to look at facts. So I checked out, I compared the Kenyan Premier League to the Premier League and the Bundesliga. So for example, I checked how many points the leader of Kenyan Premier League get an average per game. So at the moment it's KCB, they have 1.7 points per game. And then you have like check out what's a Premier League like Liverpool or Bayern Munich, and they got like as a champion or the leader of the league, they have like 2.4 points per game.
And what does that stats mean for Kenyan football in terms of coaching?
That's why this league is interesting for me, because there in Germany, I believe, or in England, if you take over a lower team, for example in the Bundesliga, it will not be possible with hard work to bring them up to be champions soon, because the difference between place 15 in the league to the champion is so big. But in Kenya, I believe it's possible if you take a team lower of the table and work with them good for 2-3 years, it's possible to make them champions.
Now that you're speaking about a possibility of making some of the players champions, how would you rate the talent with those ones that you've coached and those ones that you've seen in the Bundesliga?
So in Kenya, I didn't see that much good young players. I saw one I liked in Gor Mahia. His name is Mark Shaban. He's really talented. But compared to Europe, I saw a lot of more talented players in Europe.
Okay, so that brings me to another question.
Yes.
Did you see an interesting style of play, or you saw room for improvement in terms of, even did you see any style of play in the matches you watched?
It's like a big difference. What I realized in Kenya Premier League is that the teams score very less goals. So I've checked out KCB, the leader of the league. They scored 1.2 goals per game. And then if you watch like at Liverpool, the leader of the Premier League in England, they scored more than 2 goals per game. And Bayern Munich, the leader of the Bundesliga, even scored 3 goals per game. So there are very less goals in the Kenyan Premier League, and a lot of goals where I see that was like created by a long ball, created by like a throw in. So it was like a little bit more luck than a planned way how to want to score a goal.
Okay, so there's no like clear style of play. It's more of long balls and then a tap in, or maybe a corner and then a tap in. So there wasn't like a clear style of play you saw.
Yeah, and I also think the reason for that is a little bit the facilities, because if the pitches are not good enough, then it's also very hard to play like a lot of short passes. So you have to adapt your style of play on the facilities as well.
Okay, that is interesting. So guys, if you watched this far, ensure you subscribe to watch part C.